Hi, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to reading Reddit. We will be reading Am I the Asshole today. Before we get there, I'd like to thank everyone who's been tuning into these videos and interacting, well, liking so far. Comments will come soon, I suppose. But I do appreciate it. I am a small channel, and any bit of love or hate, I'll take it. So without further ado, let's get to reading Reddit. Okay, so our first story is I'm an asshole for taking my stepdaughter out of school during her first period after her mum told me not to. Her mum said no. It is her daughter. Fully, biologically, obviously. We'll see. We'll see. I shouldn't judge straight off of the title, but we'll see. Okay. So, I, 24 female. Oh, so we're lesbians. Okay. I, 24 female, am currently 6 months pregnant with my first biological child. My husband, 28 male. Oh. Your husband's kid. Oh, okay. So it's not even like remotely your child. Okay. My husband, 28 male, has a 10-year-old daughter from his previous relationship. He had her when he was 18. I love my stepdaughter and treat her like my own, but I try to respect boundaries and not step into a primary parenting role unless needed. Recently, my stepdaughter called my husband from school, saying she had really bad stomach pain. She went to the bathroom and noticed blood. She realised she'd started her period. Okay. I thought during her first period of school, first lesson, because in the UK it's period 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I've really misunderstood this story so far. He couldn't leave work and her mum wasn't answering the phone. I was at home and the school and on the school's approved pickup list. I offered to get her since she was clearly uncomfortable. When her mum finally called back, she said this was something she wanted to handle herself and described it as a special moment between her and her daughter. I told her that her daughter was in pain and having trouble staying in class, but she said she could wait and just use toilet paper until I got there. My stepdaughter said the pain was too much to focus, and later she called me crying for pain relief. The school gave her pads, but she just wanted to go home. My husband told me to pick her up, so I did. What would you do when one parent says no and the other parent says yes? The mum didn't pick up. I'm sorry, but if the school rings, it's important you pick up because it's your kid. But I haven't got kids, I can't really weigh in on that, but I'm a female though. I can weigh on that part. I signed her out, took her to get some ibuprofen and ginger ale. Ginger ale work? Okay, keep that noted. If it works, keep that noted. And brought her home so she could rest. She felt a lot better afterward. A few hours later, her mum called me angry and said I crossed the line. She said the school could have handled it and I interfered with something important to her, and accused me of trying to act like her mum. She told me to focus on my own child and let her parent hers. Do you not say you don't have any yet? Oh, 6 months pregnant. You don't really got a child yet to focus on. This is the best you can do, other than sitting around waiting for the next couple months. You You're just trying to do the best that you can. It's very motherly instinct to go help a child that you consider to be your own, even if it's not. And saying to, yeah, whatever. I can see why I might be the asshole because I went against her mum's wishes and stepped into a situation she specifically asked to handle herself. Even though I was trying to help, I may have crossed the boundary and taken away something she felt was important. Am I the asshole? See, it's very difficult because the dad said, please go get her because she needed to come home. For the people who don't have that period once a month, when it's your first one, you've never had it, my God, painful, most uncomfortable thing. Your brain's going all over the place of like, I don't know how to feel right now sort of thing. My mum let me have that entire time off school. Great mum. She let me have my first entire period off at school. Because when it's your first time, it is genuinely the most uncomfortable, unfathomable thing. It's not great. And to start it, your first ever one at school. Luckily, I was at home when I started mine. But to be at school, the embarrassment she probably felt. She wasn't prepared. She didn't know it was going to happen. And telling her to just use tissue. You're a woman. You should know using tissue. Not great. Really not great. Very unpredictable. Very not stuck to your underpants. So it will move around. You'll leak. Blood will get everywhere. You know, it's not hygienic either. If it's a like quick put some on for like the 5 minutes of running to go get some if you don't have any, fine. But for it to tissue up for however long it may take you, the mother, to show up since you didn't answer your phone, and you didn't pick up. So because you didn't pick up, that then moves it to the parent who does pick up, and they get to make the decision on what happens to your child that you just didn't pick up. It didn't state that you were at work, it just stated you didn't pick up, which means you just ignored your phone. If you want that special moment, although not very special, very uncomfortable moment, if you wanted that moment with your kid to experience her first, although no kid wants that, unless you're really close to your mum, I suppose, because I'm really close to my own. No one really wants that as a special moment with their parent. Pick up the phone. Anything could have happened to your kid and you didn't pick up the phone. The one parent that was at work, incapable of doing so, picked up the goddamn phone. That is top tier parent, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing, parent? She stepped in to do the job that you didn't, so that your daughter was comfortable. I wouldn't be mad at her. I'd be very, very grateful. And immediately come over and hug on my child, but like, I'm so sorry I didn't get the phone call. Not rip into the parent, although not her actual parent, still a parent. She still parents the child when the child is around her dad. So, bonus mum stepped up. Is she the asshole? No. I wouldn't say she's the asshole. I'd say you're a very mild asshole. I get where you're coming from in the you want to be there for your daughter for her first time. But also, you didn't pick up the phone to the school. I've been with people whose phone have gone off and it's a school and it's a situation where you just gotta pick up. You just go, I'm really sorry, it's a school, and just step out. And I wouldn't give a flying fuck because, I mean, it's your kid. It's your kid. Run off, go do. Run off, go do. Find out what it is. It could have been nothing, but it could have been something. Something really bad could have happened and you didn't pick up your phone. Now, obviously, we don't have the context of why you didn't pick up your phone. We just have the you didn't pick your phone up. Yeah, we have no idea why. No context, but bonus mum stepped up. She's not an asshole. Not an asshole. Good for you for picking up the phone and 6 months pregnant, going looking after someone else's child. Well done, bonus mum. Okay. Moving on. Am I the asshole for telling my father to accept that my brother is not my responsibility? I mean, is this a situation where parents are always away doing stuff, very busy, and just making the older sibling look after the younger one? That happens more often than you think. Not to me, I'm the younger sibling, but my parents never did that. There was always one around, for definite. Or I know that for definite. Anyway, I, 35 female, have a complicated relationship with both my father and his wife, Denise, fake name, for several reasons, some of which relate to my half-brother, Jake, 9 years old. Wow, that is an age gap and a half. 35 and 9. I'm going to assume stepmother, because you said his wife. Okay. Oh, this one's a decently long one. Okay. There's a lot of backstory here, but to sum things up, Jake exists because Denise wanted the baby and my father was upset that both of his daughters were moving out. They expected me and my sister, who's 29, to have an active role in caring for Jake. Not your responsibility. That wouldn't be possible for either of us, but they continued to assume we'd give in. Denise wanted... Oh, hello. I knocked my cable. Denise wanted a baby. You did not want a baby. If she couldn't be bothered to look after it, she shouldn't be having it. End of. That's it. Don't want to look after it, don't have it. Have him. Not it, him. Sorry, Jake. I called you an it. That's on me. We didn't. We led to multiple fights that soured my relationship with my father. Denise also got mad at me for refusing to be her village. I got pregnant with my first child when Jake was still a baby. So you had your own child to look after. Your actual child. Which made her even more angry that I wouldn't help her as much as she wanted. You also had a child. Your actual child. Pay me £100 an hour when I've just had my own child. Maybe I might look after you. I might consider it at £100 an hour. The audacity. Things in their household are great. Jake isn't well behaved because they don't want to look after the child that they really wanted. That's why. My father is not a very active parent, though he is more present than he used to be. And the older Jake gets, the more Denise loses interest in parenting. But you wanted the child. You wanted the child. Or was it the novelty of just being pregnant with a child. It's like people getting a puppy for Christmas and just then getting rid of it when the season is over. I don't understand it. They never stop trying to get me to help take care of their son. To this day, whenever they need a babysitter, they call me first, even though I'm almost never available to do it. They've tried multiple things over the years, but most of their current strategies concern my children. Sam, 8 male, Katie, 4 female. My kids do not get along with Jake, but not for lack of trying on my father and Denise's part. They've tried setting up play dates, aka Denise dumping Jake on me and my kids whilst she went shopping, making them share a room on family vacations, and my father even considered changing Jake to Sam's school for a few years ago. Every time there's a opportunity to make the kids spend time together, they push for it. You mean they just want to abandon their child on you because they don't actually want the child? It's what's it called? Empty nesting, because you and your sister moved out, so now there's no kids around. They just want to fill the space, but they've gotten to the age where, because you're 35, so I'm going to assume they're at least in their 60s. With it, they had a child. I'm not even thinking about that. You have a child whenever you want. But they've gotten to the age where they don't want a child around all the time. It's more they want grandchildren around, but they've had their own child and they have to look after it. It's empty nesting gone wrong. If you an empty nester and you feel like really like alone and sad and you feel like you need to do something because you're not getting children around anymore because they've moved out, don't then have another child to fill that void. Wait for grandchildren, or get a puppy, but don't get bored of it and get rid of it. Something. Not have a child and neglect it. Dump it on your older children. That's so fucked up. Anyway, this video might be longer than it should be. That brings us to now. My husband and I are planning a trip to France with our children in September to celebrate Katie's 5th birthday. Happy birthday to Katie. It was 2 days ago, so I can still say it. Happy birthday for September. Big 5. We don't travel much, and the trip will include Disneyland Paris, so the kids are thrilled. I've never been. Okay. I wish I had the money for that. My father found out and decided to propose we bring Jake with us. He said he'd pay for all the expenses, flights and hotels. Now we're talking, you're paying for stuff? Okay. So that his son could go to Europe with my family. I said no, we wanted a trip to be just us and our kids. He kept insisting that Jake would love going to Disney with us, and that he and Denise really wanted some nice child-free time that they'd appreciate if I took care of my little brother like a good sister. Or what about all the other child-free time when you dump a child on her? Like, that's child-free time because you're constantly dumping a child on someone else. You never have your child by the sounds of it. No, I'm not going to be a good sister. Be a good parent. Jesus Christ. It's lucky these 2 sisters survived. Not that we've heard anything else about sister other than the fact she exists. We had an argument and I ended up losing my patience, told my father that he needs to accept that Jake is not my responsibility and never will be, and that he and Denise should have thought about their child-free time before having a child. My father is furious. He accused me of saying I wish Jake was never born. I didn't. And called me an ungrateful brat for refusing to take care of my brother. Denise later called me to yell a few insults as well. I don't think I'm in the wrong for refusing to bring Jake along, but I'm not proud of what I said to my father. My husband is on my side and thinks I was too harsh. Edit. I didn't explain clearly enough. My father only offered to pay for Jake's flights and whatever extra accommodation costs were needed for him to stay with us. He didn't offer to fly my whole family to Europe. I understood that. I'm assuming some people in the comments did not make that. That was clear reading it, that he was just paying for Jake to go. Anyway, that was the end of the story. What do y'all think? I think you already know what I think. But yeah, like I said, empty nesters miss having kids around, so they had another one of their own. I'm not sure the age they had him. Probably not young if your eldest is 35. Because I'm 28 now, and my mum is turning 58 this year. We're 30 years apart. So could you imagine? She's 35. My mum would be. That was me. I'm a 9-year-old? Which means you were like 56? What would my mum have? No, she couldn't. She could barely put up with me, let's be honest. She could barely put up with me or my brother. Like, just wait for grandchildren, but you've now got them and you still don't want them, so what was the want for child? Does Denise have any biological children of her own? Did she realize she missed out and thought, we can start anew because the kids moved out? I can't. Again, with that, I don't have kids of my own, but I can't wrap my brain around at that age, your kids have moved out and you've gone, we should have a kid. And then completely neglect it. First of all, I'm very, very, very sorry for Jake. Yes, he misbehaves, but it's because the parents don't give a fuck. I am sorry that your parents had you and didn't actually want you. It was probably the whole, the kids have moved out, we miss having kids around situation. I'm sorry that they brought you into this world and don't want you. Clearly they don't want you because they keep trying to fob you off on other people. Mainly her. Not fobbing you off on the little sister. Not the 29-year-old, no. The 35-year-old who had kids of her own and is trying to yeah, your brother's not your responsibility. You have 2 kids of your own, and no, you can't come to Disney with us. Maybe at 9, you should realize that your parents don't really want you, and I would be calling social services for myself and getting the fuck out of there, because clearly my parents don't fucking love me, and I would be telling them they keep fobbing me off my older half sister. Only one of the half sisters. It's really weird that there's never the other. By the sounds of it, only the one sister. Don't have a child unless you're willing to actually look after that child and love it unconditionally. Don't have it out of boredom just because your older kids moved out. Same with animals. Don't get an animal for Christmas and then after the Christmas season get rid of it, because there's a special place in hell for people like you. Not you watching. I'm going to assume people that are watching and not like that. You get what I mean. I've not been reading. I've done that thing where I've not been reading the comments again. Let's read a comment. Not the asshole. I think your stepmother and father are ridiculous. If you wanted a child-free time, why are you getting a babysitter and go on vacation? Or better yet, all go on family vacation. I think your family fails to realize you have a family of your own and they aren't your main priority anymore. Exactly. Exactly. But if you want a child-free life, why the fuck did you have another child? Don't have one. Don't have one. Let's find one more comment that's not attached to this massive thread. Absolutely not. They chose to get a child. To have a child. What I imagine is old age, to have a child at old age. Though also imagine Denise is quite younger than your dad and can't just expect their older kids to raise them. You don't even live at home. Absolutely not an excuse. So they can do jack shit. For context, Denise is 50. She had Jake a few months before 31st. Okay, that makes no sense. My father is in his 60s. So, like 10-ish. 10 to 20 years age difference. Either way, at that age, don't you just want to chill out? You've had your 2 kids all grown up, left the nest. It's chill time. You don't need another kid. You had 2 kids. You raised them. I hopefully perfectly well. Oh no. I don't. She's not an asshole, but the parents definitely are. Fudge, man, that's a lot of writing. Slightly longer video today, guys. Alright, last story is, would I be the asshole? So they've not done it yet. They're asking if they would be an asshole if they did the thing that they want to do. Okay, would I be the asshole if I put a post in my yard that could damage my neighbour's truck? If you know it's going to damage the truck, yeah, a little bit. Okay, we'll read and find out. We need context. Okay, my husband, 29 male, and I, 28 female, have lived in our home for over 6 years now. Our house is over 100 years old, and we've slowly been making improvements when we can. When we got married, my father-in-law gifted us landscaping for our front yard. We planned out what we wanted, talked to a landscaper, and he wanted to pay for it as a wedding present. The landscaping was completed over 3 years ago, and we were very pleased and appreciative for such a great gift. The landscaping included a much needed retaining wall where there was a low patch in our front yard that previously turned into a mud pit when it rained. Fast forward to last year, and our neighbours sold the house to a new owner. Almost immediately after she moved in, she made it clear that she was going to be unpleasant to live next to. In the first week or so living there, she came into our backyard, chopped the top of our juniper bushes, and threw it into our yard. The entitlement. The bushes were next to her garage, but clearly in our yard. It's an old neighbourhood, and a lot of the garages were built long after the homes, so everything behind the house is very close together. Her garage is very close to the property line, and maybe even a little bit in our property. Maybe I should just knock it down. It's in your property. We would have understood if she didn't like the bushes. They were looking scraggly, and landscaping for our backyard was next on the list for improvements. However, she gave no explanation, and she hadn't even introduced herself to us. I knew she did it because I could see her from my dining room window. We ended up clearing all 3 of the bushes out of the garage, out by her garage, because they were unattractive, especially after having the top lopped off of them. About a week later, she ran over our retaining wall with her lifted truck. It damaged the wall, but her truck is too tall. It did not do damage to her vehicle. Again, she never talked to us about it or apologized. I'd seen her do it because I'm home all day. That summer we had the same landscaping company do work on our backyard, so we asked them to add on a repair to the front yard retaining wall. The repair cost $100, and we paid it because we didn't want confrontation with the neighbour. 1 week after the wall was repaired, she hit it again. Still, we had no apology from her. We're outside a lot, so we thought eventually she would approach us about it and so we gave her time. She never did. One day I saw her walking her dog and came outside to discuss it. I just opened by saying that I wanted to talk about our retaining wall, and she responded back by saying that she didn't know how the wall was damaged. When I said I'd seen her run it over with her truck many times, she started making excuses. She said the wall was too close to her driveway and that it could have been a delivery driver or any random person who used the driveway. I stayed firm. Initially, I was just going to ask her to pay for the next repair, but I decided that since she didn't even apologize, I would ask her to reimburse us for the initial repair, as well as the upcoming repair. She agreed, but I said it wasn't a big deal. And she couldn't make any promises. She wouldn't just hit it again. The wall was repaired again yesterday, and this is the part that my husband says I would be the asshole for. I put an ornamental iron post at the edge of the wall, but completely on our side of the property. That way it would be easier to see there was a wall. That way it would be easier to see where the wall is. But if she hit the wall again, she would also hit the post, and it would probably damage her truck. My husband told me to take down the post. He said I was being vindictive and immature. I took it down immediately after I put it up, but I really wanted to prevent further damage to our property. I don't want her to hit the wall again, but if she did hit it and our wall wasn't the only thing being damaged, I think she'd be less likely to do it again. So am I the asshole if I put the post back? No. For the simple reason, the second she moved in, she was causing chaos and didn't apologize. She shouldn't even introduce herself. Be like, hey, I'm such and such. She broke into your garden to chop down your bushes, regardless of if they were hideous or not. She broke onto your property and chopped your bushes down. And then there's no way she didn't feel a bump when she was driving into your wall twice, which would probably be a third time, because she's going to do it twice. She's going to do it three times and more after that. And the fact that she made excuses, she knew fine well what she'd done. No, put it back. If you're going to have to repeatedly pay $100, which the more it gets damaged, the more they have to come back and repair it. I'm pretty sure they're going to hike the price because they keep having to come back and fix it. Why should you have to repeatedly get damaged and she doesn't? She knows she's doing it. Ain't no way she doesn't know she's doing it. Like, she totally knew she was going into your garden and ripping your bush out. See, if she'd not gone into your garden and ripped your bush out, I may have been more inclined to believe that she didn't know she was crashing into your wall. But she did do that. And she's very rudely not, like, she didn't be like, hi, I'm such and... She just didn't. She's not interacting with you. She didn't have a conversation with you at the bush. She's just doing it. Yeah. You're not an asshole. I say put it back. I say put it back. If she hits it again and damages your car, it'll be like, see, was you. Now, I will completely remove that post. So you get no more damage if you stop driving into our retaining wall. I know she'll probably ask you to, you know, fund the repairs. Which is probably going to be more than the, fixing the wall repeatedly. But then again, it will eventually add up. But might teach her a lesson. Maybe on a very small off chance. But no, not the asshole. Very much not the asshole. Anyway, on that note, we'll end the video here. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, leave a comment, what you think of these stories. Let me know your opinion. Greatly appreciate it. Even if it's not in agreement with me, just let me know how you feel about the stories. If there's a Reddit, a subreddit you want me to read from, leave the subreddit below and I will have a look. If you look forward to seeing any more Reddit stories read by yours truly, then you can hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to let you know when the next one is uploaded. I do really enjoy reading these stories, even if I'm really bad at reading. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. It's all appreciated. And I will see you all lovely people in the next one. Bye.